Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। ओम परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री वेद व्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्याद्य शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातो अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्ति एकदा प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्म वैदिक संस्कृते भक्तानां साधकानां संरक्षकाणां च विघ्न निवारण शत्रु निर्मूलन समस्त शक्तिनवाप्ति द्वारेण विजय प्राप्त्यर्थं तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणम्। Our paranam today is in the Shiksha Valli. We do the Anuvaka number 6th one. Sa Eshontar Hridaya Akashaha. Let us do chanting with all concentration, with all devotion, with all the faith in the Shruti Mata, in the Rishis, in the truth which is given in this Shruti, and invoking their grace that this chanting of ours should take us to the level of study, contemplation, meditation, also the experience of the truth that is hidden behind all these words. Start. Saya एषोऽन्तरहृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एषस्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति भुवैति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व पृथिव्यन्तरिक्षं द्यौर्दिशो वान्तरदिशाः अग्निर्वायुरादित्यश्चन्द्रमा नक्षत्राणि आप ओषधयो वनस्पतय आकाश आत्मा इत्यधिभूतम् अथाध्यात्मं प्राणो व्यानोपान उदान समानः चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाक्त्वक् चर्म मागसग्ग स्नावास्थिमज्जा एतदधिविधाय ऋषिरवोचत् पाङ्क्तं वा इदगं सर्वं पाङ्क्तेनैव पाङ्क्तग्गः स्पृणोतीति ओमिति ब्रह्म ओमितीदगं सर्वम् ओमित्येतदनुकृतिः स्म वा अप्योश्रावयेत्याश्रावयन्ति ओमिति सामानि गायन्ति ओगुं शोमिति शस्त्राणि शगुंसन्ति ओमित्यध्वर्युः प्रतिगरं प्रतिगृणाति ओमिति ब्रह्मा प्रसौति ओमित्यग्निहोत्रमनुजानाति ओमिति ब्राह्मणः प्रवक्ष्यन्नाह ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्ण यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषत् ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवीन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिते ते तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोस्तेजः तेजस आपः अद्भ्यः पृथिवे पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 wholeheartedly salutations to Parabrahma Tattva, to the Shruti Mata, to all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Rishis, Munis, Gurus, Devatas. Then also salutations to Vedavyasa, Vaishampayana, Yagnavalkya, Adya Shankaradi, all our Rishis, Gurus, Munis, our own Guru Tattva. Now, we are into the study of the Upanishads. Upanishads are indicating to us the Brahma Vidya. The Brahma Vidya leads to the Brahma Prapti or Anubhuti. The Brahma Anubhuti frees us from all the bandhana of being a jiva, identifying with the limited upadhis, making us run behind the world of name and form with all the raga dvesham, which is an endless saga only of efforts and miseries. First and foremost, we have to understand it very clearly. After understanding this in asa, that crystal clear, strong opinion, strong conviction, strong sankalpa should be born that I no more want to depend on, I no more anymore depend on outer world for my happiness. Then I slowly want to get out of my involvement in them. I want to get out of my raga dvesha towards them, then I have to get out of my identity with these upadhis. Then I want to come out of my limited jiva bhava through the upadhis. Then I want to get established in my own Brahma Atma Swarupa. In this clarity only, that the study of Upanishads, analysis of the Upanishadic mantra with the Adi Shankara Bhashya, they all become meaningful, fruitful, useful. So that particular heart we have to generate by analyzing our own present experiences and the experiences of everyone who are not the Brahmajnanis. Everyone's experiences are either of miseries or of the limitations or of the conditionings only. Therefore, our own experience of the world, which have happened so far, when we deeply look into them, we will definitely know that in that the efforts are too much, but always there is something lacking. Always there is something apurnata. Always there is something still wanting, and struggling. Every time, whatever we get, even you become Devata Rupa, even we become the Indra Rupa, even we in this world become anything, still the Apurnata never goes away. Purnata is never experienced. That's how restlessness, efforts, continuous. In short, what we say, the entire Jagrad Avastha, everything gained, still there is no contentment. Entire Swapnavastha, our own desired or joyful dreams only are experienced, yet there is no contentment. Wonderful Nidra Ananda is there, still it is not full or complete. That means what? All these three avasthas are how much are beautiful, glorious, still they are leaving us behind with some discontentment only, with some apurnata only. Therefore, from one avastha to the other, and each of the avastha from one experience to the other, for that from one object to the other, we are going on running, jumping. Not knowing this that I am lost in it is called as ajnanam, and getting lost again in them is called as moha. The ajnanam is what? That I am searching for something in that place where it is not available. Not clearly knowing this is called ignorance. And therefore, searching again and again that which is not available in that place is called as our delusion. So, in that delusion, using mind, intellect, using the senses, seeing the world, getting some imagination that in the world there will be sukha, therefore the desire in the mind, therefore putting the efforts to get that. All these activities every jiva is doing is out of moha or out of ignorance. That we have to realize for ourselves. If we don't have the clear understanding about what is ignorance and what is delusion, that itself is the first ignorance and delusion. Not knowing that I am ignorant itself is ignorance. Not knowing that I am deluded itself is called delusion. So, the first step is to know that I am deluded in myself regarding seeking the sukha happiness in the world. And also, I must be clear that the happiness will be only in the self, not in the world. This is called as jnanam. If this jnanam is not there, that itself is ajnanam, because of which the delusion, because of which entire self created samsara. Shastras, what they do, they operate as all the three levels. They prove to us the mithyatva of the jagat. Then, in the jagat itself is mithya, unreal. How can there be happiness in that? Therefore, the futility of our pursuit of the jagat. This is what the Shastra will help us. So too, they prove to us the Satyatva of the Paramatma or Brahma or the Atma. Because it is Satya, the Paramatma and the Atma, what you are seeking, the infinitude, the blissfulness, the effortlessness, the continuity, probability is there that those experiences you can find in the self. And All the rishis munis have tried in this way within themselves. They found what they wanted and for which they were struggling outside. It is there inside only. And when they discovered it, they were in so bliss. Not only they laughed at their own earlier life, but now they want to, as they are helped by their gurus, to help the subsequent generation of samsaris or the jivas to become sadhaka from the samsara and to discover the self as a fulfillment of sadhana and be in that blissful, effortless level. So that's how every Shishya or every Jiva from the samsara becomes a Shishya. He goes to the Guru and gets that knowledge which will take some lives for him. Then, when the theoretical knowledge is pakka, then he implements it single pointedly to experience that in within himself. When he experiences, then it is so beautiful, like any good experience we have. We want to share it with all those whom we love. So that Shishya who had discovered himself, he himself now takes the responsibility as if to even help others. बेटा मैं भी ऐसे आपकी तरह बाहर ढूंढा ढूंढ ढूंढ के थक गया. Other than disappointments in every life, other than struggles, other than miseries, never ever I got fulfillment outside. Thank God to the Krupa of the Gurus, and I surrender to them. Then they guided me, they directed me, they made me introverted, they made me focus on the inner self. I somehow, keeping aside my own wrong opinions, wrong notions, for the time being, on the strength of faith on them, followed what they said. And when I followed them, even though tentatively for the time being, that took me to such an experience that what they said was alone is right, that the Ananda is in the self. What I imagined that there is happiness in the world outside is completely proved to be wrong. Therefore, oh my dear friends, you also try the same. This is how every Shishya, every Jiva becoming Samsari, every Samsari becoming Sadhaka, every Sadhaka becoming Shishya, every Shishya getting guidance from the Guru, following that guidance experienced, then he is subsequently taught. This is how from the Guru Shishya Parampara through the Shastra Parampara, this Brahma Jnana to give Mukti is always available for all those who are willing or desirous. You and I also have now come out of our punya to these classes. Now, along with that punya, when we use our intellects, we understand that this पुण्य के कारण मिला हुआ इस उपनिषद पढ़ने का जो मौका है, इसको हमें रियली साधना के रूप में वी हैव टू टेक इट एंड रीच आउट टू द सिद्धि ऑफ मुक्ति, मुक्ति ऑफ हम ब्रह्मास्मि अनुभूति. For that, this entire study should be used. To such single pointed seekers, there's nothing so beautiful and glorious and useful than the Upanishad Adhyanam, the contemplation on the Upanishadic mantras with the help of Bhagavan Adi Shankara's Bhashyam. So may you and I, all of us, by the grace of Shruti Mata and Guru, as well as the Parabrahma himself and Ishtadeva, that's find that taste, not only in listening, but also in deeply contemplating. Find that interest in that deep meditation and should really find the courage and strength in us practically to go into that contemplative meditative moods where we just come out of the ignorances and delusions, the ajnanams and the vyamoha and moha, to discover the all pervading Atma Brahma. May we all be successful in this endeavor. May nothing disturb us, nothing distract us, nothing make us extroverted samsari as we were so far in many, many lives. So this desire, this prayer, like when we do the Abhishek to Lord Vishnu or the Shiva, doing Abhishekam consciously and asking that Vishnu Shiva, Bhagavan, make me antarmukha. Bhagavan, give me the capacity of the intellect to ponder over what is given in the Upanishads and Bhashya. May I become subtle enough to understand the deeper imports what they mean by. May I dwell in them only. May I not go into the world out through my senses, etc. In this way, when you do upasana, abhishekam, puja, namaskara, prarthana, then the extroverted allergy will be reduced. Kujli कहते हैं. Then we become introverted. In that introvertedness only, deep introvertedness only, Then slowly the understandings become subtler. As the subtle understanding we are going to gain, we will see the subtle world is more real than the gross world. In fact, the gross world is not at all there from the subtle cause standpoint. Even the gross and subtle cause and effect also are superimposed on that pure self, which is all pervading, which is my own self. First, intellectual understanding will have to come. Thereafter, spend the time only in trying to experience that intellectually comprehended self or the truth. When the sufficient efforts are put in the direction, slowly the revelation, the experience comes to everyone that way. So, in that pursuit only, Bhagavan Adi Shankara is guiding us through his Bhashyam on all the Upanishads. We took some years so far just to try to find the heart of Upanishad, heart of Shankara. Little bit. We are yet to tune to them, yet to become totally surrendered and obedient to them. After that, their grace will make us truly take all these studies seriously, in the pursuit of which really the understanding comes to us. Maybe all that way continue not only our effort here but also our prayers to invoke the grace so that this effort becomes fruitful. Now we are into the Taittiriya Upanishad Adhyanam with Adi Shankara Bhashyam, Pratama Shiksha Valli. In fact, in those 12 Anuvakas, beautiful guidance directions are given of Upasana, where if you want, you can get any results of the world up to the Hiranyagarbha Sthiti, yet it doesn't remove the avidya, which alone can give us moksha. Keep that in mind. If you want to continue, continue that. But if not, you want to remove avidya and through vidya you want to have final experience, come to the second Valli, that is Brahmananda Valli, going to give us the permanent Brahmananda through the Brahma Anubhuti, through Brahma Vidya. If we are ready, then we are given the Mula Mantras and thereafter the analysis of the Mula Mantra by Bhashyakara. Then what is happening here is intellectually we are contemplating on the meaning of the main mantra as explained by Bhashyakara. In that effort only, the wrong notions, the delusory misconceptions, whatever were there regarding the truth, regarding the truthness of the world, they get clear. Not yet happening, we just are starting. Same Upanishad, same first Anuvakam, same Bhashyam. When we keep on contemplating for tens of number of times, then the intellect gathers that subtlety, then we are able to understand it. Like in any of the profession also, when we repeatedly do it, then we become so familiar with it, then at ease we are able to do it. So too, the Brahma Vidya, again and again, Mananam Chintanam dana, the understanding comes. But understanding is not experience. We have to not stop at the understanding level. We have to continue our pursuit till the experience of Aham Brahmasmi comes, which alone redeems us from Aham Jivosmi, Devasmi. They have to struggle in the world to get this or that to become happy. All these notions go away. Only then they'll go away. If the Brahma Anubhuti is not gained, then the alternative is Jiva Anubhuti. And the Jiva through Upadi will continue to struggle in the outer worlds to become infinite or happy, which will never be fulfilled. Therefore, he will go on getting the bodies, go on getting the desired things, go on getting everything around, but not what he is seeking. You get money but not happiness, isn't it? You get the people but not happiness. You get whatever you want but not happiness, because happiness is not outside. Infinitude is not outside. Effortlessness is not outside. It is my own nature. I have to discover it. Till we become introverted, till we become self oriented, till we discover that self, we are bound by the not self. Not knowing this is called delusion. That not knowing called illusion is the one which goes on pushing us outside only. And the outside आप करोड़ों जन्म में भी ढूंढो, जो चाहिए आपको मिलता ही नहीं. Because the world outside, the instruments which are perceiving the outer world, and the mind which is leaking through the instruments into the world outside, all of them themselves are delusions. All of themselves are not real. How can through the illusory instruments through the illusory sense organs find the permanent happiness in the outer illusory world. Through the study of Upanishads, to this most important understanding we have to reach to. That day is the day of celebration. If this dawns in us, if this dawns in us, it is like a storm thunder for so many hours going on, and suddenly all that stopped. How calm quietness you feel in the atmosphere outer. In the same way, all the thunders and storms of our study of Shastras, our contemplations, etc., get quietened when we come to this understanding. Thereafter, now, when the thunder and storms stop, then you enter into your work. Here also, when the thunder and storm of worldliness gone, thunder and storm of the understanding also gone, with the understanding gained, our pursuit will be in a calm and quiet mood toward the inner self. Such is the real, genuine Adhyatmika Sadhaka. And for him, by God's grace, either he'll get a conducive place and birth, or already wherever he is there, he finds it itself is conducive. In that, no more he is now searching. He has understood what is to be found. Now he is only seeking. Search is that where you are not yet known. You have not yet known what is to be obtained. The inner self alone is to be obtained. If this conviction comes, the search is ended. Now you have to seek that inner self on the dhyana avastha or on the dhyana sadhana. Go on doing it day in and day out. Then slowly the subtlety comes. We reach nearer and nearer to that seeming abstract self, but the alone is the substantial reality. All other world which was appearing to be real or concrete or substantial, all will be found to be unreal. Like the gold is abstract, then the ornaments are real. It appears to us. But reality is what? The gold alone is reality. All the ornaments are only superimposed. They have no reality of themselves. So to the entire world of multiplicity and the upadhis which are seeing this multiplicity, they themselves have no thikana without the self inside. That discovery is the freedom. Till that is not discovered, as we told again and again, we will be the victims of the delusion of again and again imagining the sukha in the world of things and beings. We run towards it only. अरे ये सब है ही नहीं, आपको कैसे सुख देगा? That's what he's saying. कि there's no water at all in that mirage. How can it quench your thirst? That examples are so powerful. As we become deeper and deeper in our understanding, we see the beauty of those examples. How long it will take for you to get the thirst quenched when you are running for that water in the mirage? It's a big question we have to ask. Only answer is one: never it can quench our thirst. Why? There is no water, but appearing. So, to how long we have to run behind the world of multiplicity to get our quench of our thirst of desire fulfillment quenched? Never, because the entire outer world is as appearing real but not real, like that of the mirage. This we have to discover. The example is easy to understand because with regard to example, we don't have that many abstractions called as vasanas, etc. मिराज वाटर के बारे में ज़्यादा वासनाएं नहीं है, हमको ज़्यादा अटैचमेंट नहीं है, इसलिए देखते ही पता चल जाता है, बोलते ही समझ में आता है, कहते ही एक्सेप्ट हो जाता है. But with regard to the world, we are carrying the loads and loads of vasanas. And what is the meaning of vasana? Vasana is the delusion that there is sukha in the world. Every time, whenever I became sukhi because of our contact with the world, every time the sukha was from inside only, never it was from the objects. But this clarity, as long as it doesn't come, it may take millions of creations also, millions of aeons also, millions of yuga also, still we will be in the delusion. सुख आत्मा का लक्षण है. जो भी सुख मिल रहा है मुझे, whether it's इंद्रिय सुख, it's a मानसिक सुख, विषय सुख, every one of them are from within, not without, not from outside. Till that is not coming, that clarity doesn't come, still we go outside only till the time. That's called as Vasana. Vasana is a delusion wherein, though we are getting happiness from within, we think that it is coming from outside. That goes on pushing. You know that? Everybody, as we are telling last 4 days, every day, every drunkard, every cigarette smoker thinks that the drink and smoke is giving them happiness. So they go on getting addicted to in such a manner that they think that they cannot live without that even a day. You and I also are addicted to the samsara of the outer world for our happiness, never recognizing that happiness is coming from within. Every happiness is a reflection of the inner happiness only in the outer world. If the reflected happiness itself is so beautiful, how the original happiness should be? This question should come. If this question is genuinely asked, the answer would be how it will be so inexplicable. Therefore, pursue the inner happiness of discovering self, not in the outer world. That person becomes Adhyatmika Sadhaka. Okay. Every day little bit like this discuss. Now we are into the Prathama Anuvaka, which itself is the basis of this Upanishad, the basis of Brahma Vidya, the basis of the essence of all the Upanishads, and the basis of the Mukti Sadhana. Therefore, as much time we need to spend to contemplate and understand every sentence and word of this particular Anuvaka along with Bhasha, so much it is good and useful for us. May we need 1 year to spend on this to study, understand its worth. Because in that only all deep clarity comes regarding what we have to pursue to be liberated once for all with that infinite experience. That is why Bhashyakara also never hesitated to himself take the form of Purvapakshi and ask variety of possible questions and trying to answer. We have to go through the word meaning, we have to go through the deeper implied meaning, then we have to go into the contemplative level on the implied meaning. At that contemplative level, with the implied meaning, we will discover where we are going wrong. We will discover what is the right understanding. मजा आता है एक बार वो क्लिक होता है तो. This is where is the difference between the intellectual struggle and the intuitive understanding gained through the grace and blessings of all the three. Shruti Mata, the Ishtadaiva and our own Guru. We to believe in that. Without Krupa of Guru, Ishtadeva and Shruti Mata, those intuitive subtle understandings will not come. That is what is required. Intellectual understanding won't satisfy us and it will not stay for long. It will be eliminated or replaced or covered by the vasanas whenever they upsurge. But beyond subtler than the intellectual understanding, when that intuitive understanding comes, then it won't allow the vasanas to overpower the knowledge. We always will be abiding in that knowledge. That's what we want. So again and again invoke the grace, again and again try your best. That grace will make our efforts fruitful in understanding what is to be understood. So Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Up to this only we have to go on contemplating. So in this also the first and third are easy. Satyam Brahma. So everything avikari is anatma or abrahma. That which is avikari, rutam, satyam alone is Brahma. Remember, this explanation of the Brahman or the Atman is an intellectual understanding to begin with. Thereafter, there is no corresponding object related to this intellectual understanding. Then it is a subjective experience. That I am that Brahman, which is Satyam, which is Rutam, which is Avikari. In that light of that knowledge, other than that Atma, the Jiva which I was minding myself as, the Upadhis which I was thinking as mine, They are all nitya vikara रूpa. अरे विकार ही दुख है, विकार ही संसार है. So why are we holding on to the vikaravan as aham and mama? Reject them. The vikari satsvarupa atma, you be with. Again telling, never ever try to understand the atma as an object to be understood or to be perceived through the senses. It is an anubhuti which is going on all the time. But that I am not knowing, called as avidya. What Upanishad is doing? Through the vidya, it is removing that avidya. Through the vidya, the avidya is removed. Then already existing, already happening, nitya nirantara atma anubhuti, we get into, we establish into. So, this is the highest and most beautiful and important word, Satyam Brahma. The other way around is Brahma Satyam. The next step is other than Brahma, everything is Asatyam. Therefore, everything is Vikari. So, revel only in these words first intellectually. Then, once the understanding becomes clear, then become a seeker of experience of this understanding. I thought understood. Now, let me experience it. So, the seeker of the experience of the understanding. Seeker of the experience of the understanding that the Brahman alone is Satyam, everything other than Brahma is Asatyama. Because Satyam is Brahma, Satyam is Yad Rupena Yad Nishchitam, Tad Na Vyavicharat Satyam, Yad Rupena Yad Nishchitam, Tad Vyavicharat Asatyam Anrutam. Contemplate on that. So, what should be at this level? Our understanding and pursuit should be कि there is a being or state of being in me which is Rutam Satyam, therefore Avikari, unmodifying. May I reach to that experience. And how do you do that? It is already there. With through the Vidya means the knowledge convinced, go on rejecting which is Anrutam or Asatyam or Vikaravan. When we go on rejecting the Vikaravan as Anatma, Abrahma, Asatyam, Anrutam, ityadi, then when the saturation of rejection of everything happens, the non-rejectable, pure conscious self is experienced. That I am that. करते रहना हो शुरू में वो बहुत abstract लगेगा, impossible लगेगा, like anything. How can I with my two hands and legs operate every aspect of the car and drive? It abstracts abstract only. Their clutch is there, accelerator, brakes are there, hand brakes are there, then steering you have to hold on. अरे कैसे इतना करूँ मैं? And also, you have to mind the size of car, you have to mind the size of the road, you have to mind the opposite traffic or the overtaking traffic or the traffic which you have to overtake. मैं अकेला इतना कैसे कर सकता हूँ? ऐसे ही लगता है. But once you are on the steering, getting guidance from the driver or the teacher, when you keep doing, you know it is obvious. So too, हमको लगता है, how can this abstracting self, which is talked only as experience, can be reached? When you try, you will know that it is possible. Please remember, without trying, the doubt can never become conviction or understanding or accepted conviction. Keep trying. Keep on trying, it will happen. Because what Shruti is speaking is not truth, untruth. What Rishis, Munis are speaking is not untruth. What they speak is their own experience. Like you can drive the car, is said by the driving teacher. He is not speaking untruth. He is doing it. He is experiencing it. Is it not? Then you have to have faith in him. If he can do it, I can also do. So if the Shruti Mata and Rishis have told that this Satyam Brahma is our own self we can experience, they have experienced, so we can also. In this way, with this faith, when we reject the Asatyam or Anrutam or Vikara, Vana, then Satyam Rutam Vikari, self in our own selves we discover. So the discussion on Satyam Brahma is easy. So to Anantam Brahma is what? It is never ending, never conditioned by any parameters. The Sad Vastu Anubhava in me is a never conditioned by, never ending by any of the parameter. Now, if this clicks to us, can we be afraid of the death? Can we afraid of any of the experiences coming and going? First of all, do we hang around any temporary limited experiences? पहले तो हम उसको किक ही कर देंगे, उसके बाद हम उससे डिसअपॉइंट होएंगे ही नहीं. Because the continuous eternalness is my experience, is myself. Again, this anantata is not an object. There is a vastu which is endless. No. Endlessness itself is the nature of the self. Ananta. Feel the meaning of this sentence. Not like there is a vastu which is endless in the world. There is no vastu in the world can be endless. Everything is endful. Because all are born in the Deshakala. Anything born in Deshakala can die because Deshakala themselves are not permanent. Not only not permanent, they are not real. They are only concepts from the standpoint of reality. From the standpoint of reality, when the Deshakala themselves are unreal concepts, how can the Deshakala bound vastus can be real or give permanent happiness? अरे happiness क्या वो है ही नहीं है, permanent ही नहीं है. How can they give? This is what, after many years of study of Upanishad, we slowly come to subtle understanding. Others can never understand when you try to tell them, because when we were at the lowest level, when the gurus were telling us, we didn't understand. We were continuous in our classes, in our bhashya, listening. Slowly, this deep understanding starts coming to us. It's the beginning. But understanding has to substantiate, it has to become very firm and strong in us. तब तक नहीं छोड़ना, otherwise the delusion is waiting outside. Give a chance, again it pulls you down, lower level. But be very careful. So Satyam Brahma, Anantam Brahma are understood. Now the Jnanam Brahma is what is exhaustively discussed. Now in this discussion of the Jnanam Brahma or all the other true ones also, itself is reaching to the inner Brahma or Atma. ये विचारणा ही हमें पहले अंडरस्टैंडिंग वाला ब्रह्म पे ले जाकर ब्रह्म के व्यतिरिक्त जो भी है उसको रिजेक्ट करेगा. That vicharana itself takes us to experience. This deep contemplation, which is first giving us the understanding about the Brahma being real, everything other than Brahma is unreal, itself in its next stage takes us to the experience that never changing Brahman or eternal conscious Brahman or never ending Brahman is me. विचारणा से अनुभव होता है. There is no meditation in Vedanta. निधिध्यासनम कहते हैं उसको. Means what? Dhidhyasanam means contemplation. Contemplation, in the deep contemplation only, the all anatma is rejected. Then we just experience the atmas. There is no dhyana required. विचारण के द्वारा ही ध्यान में जो पाया जाता है वो आत्मानुभूति हो जाता है. वेदांत वेदांत है विचारणा प्रधान, contemplation प्रधान. Contemplation's byproduct is meditation. In Vedanta, you're very deeply you are contemplating. That poise itself gives a meditational poise in which all anatma is rejected, atma is understood after understanding experience and then abiding in it. But as we said them, not so easy, not happens in one day. Like just go to airport or railway station, buy the ticket, sit in flight, and reach to Delhi or USA. It's not as it is said in 2 seconds or 3 seconds. No, it has its own process and it takes its own time. In the same way, the process and taking time will be involved, but the clarity is this. Now the Jnanam Brahma is being explained. And what is the struggle here? The Acharya Bhagavan doing is this Brahma, which is explained or said with the word Jnanam. Therefore, the Jnanam is the Lakshana of the Brahma. This Jnanam Brahma, though the Shruti Mata used the word Jnanam, don't get carried away by this misunderstanding that the Jnanam Brahma is like the Jnanam of everything of the world. This is what is the entire discussion happening from last 2-3 days. We have the jnanam of everything in the world. Is that Brahma, which is said as jnanam, is also like that? It is not like that. It is the pure Jnapti Swarupa. It is pure Avabodha Swarupa. It is pure Bhava Sadhana Rupa. In that, the Jnata Jnanam Gnayam Triputi, nor the Vrittis are at all there. So this has to be so strongly understood, after which alone the Vrittis be attentive. Then the Triputis will be rejecting to reach to the Vritti and Triputi Rahita Jnapti Swarupa Brahma. Now, in the analysis, be attentive. How to reach to that? Only we have to reject the vrittis and triputi. How they are rejected? By understanding that, in fact, these triputi and the vrittis, all of them are the misunderstandings of this Jnapti Swarupa Brahma only. Like what is ornament? The misunderstanding of the gold only. If you can understand this example, misunderstood gold is ornament. There is nothing called as ornament at all. Can you understand this point? If you really understand the gold, the substratum, where is the ornament? So, whenever we talk about ornament, we interact with ornament, we transact with ornament, we utilize the ornament, kuch bhi karo. But all of that is born out of the misunderstanding of the gold that it is ornament. So we are lost in the utility of the ornament. We are not going to the cause of it, that the ornamentation itself is misunderstanding. Because there cannot be two things, gold as well as ornament. Two realities cannot be there, two truths. Either the ornament should be true or the gold should be true. Think about it. But I am seeing it as ornament. You have said, na, you are seeing it, not it is real. What is there is gold. You are seeing the ornament. That's what you are agreeing. I ask you a question. Is there gold or not? You have to accept, yeah, gold hai. Now what are you seeing? Ornament. Therefore, you are the one who are seeing ornament on the gold and interacting with the ornament, which is born out of you are seeing, not it is there. And any time when the ornament gold is seen by or as ornament by you, did the gold change? Did the gold disappear? No, it is changeless, endless, always existing. But that example doesn't fit in the Atmavastu because only difference is gold is Jada. The self is consciousness. So, through deep contemplation, be attentive. While rejecting the Jnana Swarupa Brahma means it is not a Triputi Jnanam, Arvrutti Jnanam. In fact, we are rejecting all Triputi and Vrutti Jnanam. When we reject that, whole the world gets rejected. Because the world is known only through Triputi, Jnata Jnanam and Nayam. World is only through the thoughts. Vrutyatmakata Triputi is essential for the knowledge of the world, is it not? Now, in the pursuit of the pure Gnapti Brahma, when this Triputi and Vrittita is removed, world itself disappears. Be attentive to this one. Because we are not pursuing this pure Gnapti Swarupa, called as ignorance, in the delusion, we are creating in the Gnapti Paramatma only the Vrittis. And those Vrittis are dependent as three. One is knower, second is known, third is the knowing. So the Jnapti Swarupa Brahma only in the ignorance of the Brahma as Jnapti Swarupa is divided as a knower and known and knowledge. That known is taking shape of the entire world of gross and subtle and individual and total. Is it not the paint in your own dabba or the brush alone is taking the shape of whatever the painting you are making on the canvas or the wall? When you paint something on wall or canvas, is there anything other than the paint? No, but do you talk it as paint? No, you talk it as a scene. And in that scenery, there the sun is rising, there the fields are there the people are going for their work in the morning, there the birds are there. Hare, kidhar hai sab? They're all in your own imagination. But it is a still painting. What we see the world is the motion painting. Now, from the still picture, slowly the movie picture came. No, that is called as motion pictures. Picture, but it is in motion. It is not reality. Picture's motion is motion picture. Is it not like in a movie when people are running, hero? They are not running. It is only picture is running, which is giving us the delusion that the person is running. In the same way, the entire world's motion is also a picture, not real. Painted out of the paint of the Gnapti only. Painted out the paint of the Satyam only. That is why if the Satyam and if the Gnapti are not there, none of the worldly names and forms can exist. World has to exist and it should be known. Therefore, existence and knowledge or Gnapti alone is seen as the world by our own fascination and delusion. Now we are lost in that. Like in the world also, out of fascination, we buy something and we start using it. Then we get lost in it with attachment, as if we can't live without it. That's how we make habits. That's how we become slaves. We were never slaves with everything from birth, no? To created they are all. All that is called as ignorance or delusion. Why the value given to again the senses and the mind? Not using the intellect in the inquiry of the truth, that intellect also becomes slave to the mind and senses. They are all put together, give reality to the unreal world. That's how we are lost. But when we use intellect not towards the world which is shown by the senses and mind, when the intellect is used to see the self indicated by the Shastra and the Guru, the picture is different, the understanding is different. वही बुद्धि से इंद्रिय मन के पीछे आप दुनिया को देखोगे तो हम संसारी बनते हैं. Same buddhi when you use to understand what is said in the Shastras, we reach near to the self. The self knowledge frees us from all the ignorance of not self. And the self experience frees us from the experience of Sukha Dukkha of the not self. The Sukha Dukkha is bondage, then the experience of self, I am the eternal, changeless substratum, that is moksha. Okay, now in this discussion of the Jnanam Brahma, excellent questions, wonderful answers, they are very deeply contemplative worthy. But we have to come to the mood of contemplation. That is possible only when the buddhi or antakarana is atyanta shuddha. Shuddhata is sattva guna. Freedom from rajas and tamas. Only through variety of prarthana, upasana, karma yoga that upata durta kshaya happens, rajas tamas reduces, the sattva guna is gained. With that sattva guna only, we can register the words spoken, we can register the meaning given, we can contemplate on the meaning told, we can come to the understanding which is aimed at. Only in that understanding, correct, the wrong understandings or misunderstandings go away. Then that understanding should be tried for experience. That's called nididhyasana. I understood, now I want to experience. Intellectual understanding remove the delusion, but doesn't give moksha. Understanding when it is practiced for anubhuti, anubhuti gives moksha. Those who intellectually understand, they are free from the worldly samsara, but they are not blissful in the self because they have not tried to experience the understanding. So they are free from the miseries of the world. दुख निवृत्ति हो गया, but अनंत सुख प्राप्ति नहीं हुआ उनको. Like when I understand the world is delusory, then I am not running behind world, therefore I am not miserable. But I am not blissful also. The blissful positive aspect of bliss will come when I discover I am that infinite Satyam Jnanantam Brahma. Okay, now in our discussion, the latest topic was what? Ki Guru Maharaj has used One, two, three quotations of the Upanishads to tell that Gnapti Brahma, Satyam Brahma, Anantam Brahma are not these literal meanings, are only the Visheshanas of the Brahma, they are the Lakshana of the Brahma. Brahman has these Lakshanas, Brahman has only these Lakshanas, these Lakshana Yukta Anubhuti is Brahma, in fact, that alone is real. Everything and anything other than that is only because of the ignorance of it. Like rope alone is real. Anything other than the rope is because of ignorance of the rope. Whether it is snake, the hood of the snake, the fangs of the snake, the tail of the snake, the moving of the snake, hissing of the snake. How many things you talk, they all are the ignorance of the rope only. When the rope is known, none of them stay. So to Satyam Jnanam Anantam is Brahman alone is reality. When it is not known like that, then the entire world which you and I are now seeing, all of them are projected just like when the rope is not seen as rope, the snake garland with all its variety are projected. Clarity. Okay. So Visheshanatve api. No, I will not read all that. We have tried to see each one of them. Uh, and I'm this is such a deep portion, beautiful portion of the Vedanta Shastra. This particular Anuvaka, I believe you and I have to again stay some ashram for 10 days, and Subha Dopar Sham, we have to do the Antar Mathanam and Chintan of this. And the precipitate of the Amrita of the knowledge which comes out of this churning is so beautiful, so great, so wonderful that you can dance with ecstasy, with the joy, as if you are the one discovered every scientific discovery in the world. One discovery you do, how happy you become. If all the things are discovered, how happy we are. More than that, we will be happy when this clarity of understanding comes to us. We will have that sigh of relief which never we had in life when the understanding comes to us. That understanding when it is practiced and in experience when we discover, I myself am that Satyam Jnanam Brahma. हाँ उसका तो कोई ठिकाना नहीं है हा वो as it is said in all the Shastras, ki sarvavit moodhavat tishtet aksakto vayuvat charet. He'll be like a child, he'll be like a vayu, he'll be like a moodha. As they talk about the Brahma Anubhava, Jnani's Lakshana, that will be ours. Most beautiful it is. That Bhagalpan of knowing the Atma Anubhuti is such a different thing it is. We should aim at that now. So, this thing is understood. He spoke about the example, the Purva Your Satyam Jnanam Anantam Shabdas, not indicating any Vastu called as Brahma. They only have rejected Asatya, Jada, as well as Santata. Example is that person who is a Vandhyaputra took bath in the mirage water and having the bow made out of Shashashrunga, having an Akasha Pushpa. Such a good example, no? ऐसे कोई बंदा है ही नहीं. You are using words. You are intellectually understanding something, but there is no such person. There is no such happening. Vandhyaputra हो ही नहीं सकता. See each one of them. Taking bath हो ही नहीं सकता. Wearing Akasha Pushpa हो ही नहीं सकता. So too having Shashashunga made a bow in the hand. And he is going. So all these words have no meaning with regard to some corresponding object. So too your Satyam Jnanavantam as not giving any Brahma, because it's always problem unless, as I said, Guru Krupa, intuitive ability of the intellect comes. Accepting the presence of Parabrahma beyond the Rupa Namadi always remains as difficulty for a long period of time. Because of our habit of seeing, knowing the world through the thoughts, seeing, knowing the world through the senses. हमको यही सत्य लगता है. So he also therefore said there is no Brahma. Then Guru Maharaj tried to explain every word, so many sentences to give us clarity that Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are the Lakshanas, though They have rejected the opposite things called as the world, yet the purpose of these three lakshanas are something higher. What is higher? They have come to tell us about the Brahma which is really existing, whose lakshanas are these three. Such lakshanas they are of the Brahma Vastu, that the lakshanas and the Lakshita Brahma cannot be separated. So there is a Vastu Brahma Anubhuti which has got these three लक्षण बेटा. वो ब्रह्म को बताने के लिए ये लक्षण आए और तुम तो कहते हो ये लक्षण वाला ब्रह्म है ही नहीं. Now always what helps us, which should which of which we have to take the help is this is Shruti Vakya. श्रुति पे हमको श्रद्धा नहीं है ना तो हम आगे बढ़ नहीं सकते. श्रुति, why will it speak untruth, non-existing thing? पागल है. Then how can so many rishis munis have studied the Shruti and reached to that state and they accepted only what said by Shruti as right? Not even one person rejected that Shruti Mata ने जो कहा पर ब्रह्म का ये नहीं है करके. So श्रुति माता ने जो कहा वो सत्य है. वो सत्य है कैसे मुझे समझना है? On that we have to focus, not the other way around. कि श्रुति माता said but I am not understanding, therefore what Shruti Mata said is wrong because I am not understanding. Like, because I am not able to be honest, therefore I say in Kali Yuga it is difficult to be honest. Hare, it is never impossible any time. You are imagining that it is difficult for you, therefore you are generalizing the particular sentence. Particular sentence is I can't be honest. What is generalization? Therefore it cannot be possible to be honest. What are you talking? That's how we behave in the world. So I am not able to understand, therefore what Shruti Mata said is wrong. This is wrong approach. What Shruti Mata said is right, but how to myself make understanding, this should be effort. If this goodness, this goodwill, this faith is there, then what will do? I will try to understand what Guru said rather than argue or disprove. Many of our times what happens is, because of ashraddha in the Guru and Shastra, we try to disprove what they said because of our own ignorance. Once we love our own misunderstanding or ignorances and we don't have faith in them, all our analysis is only to disprove them. वो ego एक खेल खेलता है. Like, when you have listened same Upanishad in other classes, and when I talk here, you try to disprove only what I said, not to understand what you said, because your mind is conditioned because somewhere you hear. That is why an insistence. When you are following one guru, one acharya, continue listening from him. Go to 3-4 places, you enter into contradictions. Then neither there nor here you will have interest. Which is very sensitive issues, which I never discuss with you. You may think that I am talking egoistically. Now you 3-4 are not that low level, you are matured. Therefore I can share that thought. All the unwanted gone away. So those who are matured, they can listen these thoughts. So here also, he is in that misunderstanding. Shruti Mata or Guru Maharaj or Shankara Bhagwan is explaining that subtle point. Ki Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma have rejected Asatyam, Jada and Santa. Point 1. 2. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma are the lakshanas of the Brahman which is eternally there. So closely that these lakshanas only are Brahman. Second step. Third step is what? अरे भैया ये सत्यम ज्ञान अनंतम ब्रह्म का इतना महिमा है कि they take us to the अनुभूति of Brahma and drop themselves as the words or knowledge or the concepts. They came to explain Brahma. They came to give the experience of Brahma. They came to explain the Brahma. They came to reject everything other than Brahma. You are using only one part of it. Satyam Jnanavandam used by you to reject all the other things. But they came only to reject it. But they also came to tell us about the Brahman which has this Lakshana. Here the Lakshana Lakshita difference nahi hai. Always remember. It will come in the end of this particular भाष्य ओनली. लास्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर में टॉपिक आएगा, तब भी हम देखेंगे. So, finally, they lose their identity, the shabdas and understanding in giving us the anubhuti of the Brahma. Such is the greatness. And again, when that Anubhava Vyakti want to talk about the Brahma to others, again these words only come out with the meaning, helping the speaker to speak on Brahman to the listener. This is how we have to analyze it. So, this is what? कि विशेषणत्वे अपि सत्यादीनां लक्षणार्थ प्राधान्यमिति अवोचाम. So, though these three words are Visheshana, but the Visheshana Visheshya Sambandha nahi hai, they are a Lakshana Lakshita Sambandha. We told you, please keep that in mind. What is the difference between Visheshana Visheshya, Lakshana and Lakshita? Visheshana Visheshya mein, there is no permanency of the Visheshana to the Visheshya. But the Lakshana Lakshita, there always that is same. Lakshana Lakshita का शब्द में ही फर्क है, otherwise they are one only. Sweetness and sugar, they are not two things. If this clicks to us, you understand what is the meaning of Satyam Brahma, Jnanam Brahma and Anantam Brahma. That is what the struggle Bhagavan Shankara is trying to do to explain to us. Next one is what? Shunye hi lakshe anarthakam lakshana vachanam. First thing is what? You are talking from the Vishesha Visheshana Sambandha. We are telling that it is Lakshana Lakshita Sambandha. Second point is what? Without the Lakshya or Lakshita Vastu, Lakshana ka anarthata hota hai. Upanishad has not come for the anarthata. Basically, we have faith in Upanishad and Guru. We don't misunderstanding them that they came to bind us or misguide us or tell us about something which is not there. Is it not? The faith in parents that they don't harm us and they don't misguide us, they are not for troubling us. That's a vilakshana faith. Those who don't have that subtle understanding, they are the ones who oppose the parents, those who want to do whatever they want. They may achieve many things by disobeying parents, but not that which they would have got when they obey the parents. In the same way, Guru. Those who surrender to the Guru, they get the higher what Guru is giving. Those who don't surrender to the Guru and do what they want, they will achieve what they want, but not what the Guru had told. Guru would have given us. In the same way, here what Shastra is saying is correct. From that standpoint, when we inquire, we get what Shastra is giving, which it gave to everyone, called moksha. So, Lakshana, Lakshita, contemplate on that. Next step is what? Without the Lakshya Vastu, the Lakshana is not there. So, that should make us strongly feel that this Lakshana Yukta Brahma is definitely there. Nahi to kya hoga? You have rejected the world with these three words, but you are not accepting the Brahman. You are in such an ghar ka na ghat ka sthiti. You will be entering into the Shunyatva. And basically is what? If you are even seeing the Shunya, but do you feel you are Shunya? Ultimately, nobody has the experience of their own Shunyata or absence, no? This is what those Shunyavadins of Buddhism, they missed it. The Guru might have been tired while saying that there is nothing and he stopped there other than the self of Bechara, he missed to say that. The people took it that there is nothing other than self. There is nothing, only up to that point they reached. Other than the self, they missed it. But Shankara Bhagavan, the Vedanti say, there is nothing, yes, other than the self. Means self alone is everything. This is the two sentences only through all the study contemplation we have to sort out. There is nothing other than the self. Therefore, self alone is there. There is nothing other than the self. Therefore, self alone is there. There is nothing other than the self. This is what we have to do finally. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahma alone is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Everything other than Brahma is Asatyam, Jadam and Santam. You understood? And everything Asatyam, Jadam and Santam is not Brahma. Therefore, it is Asatyam. इसी में हमको घूमना है. देन कॉन्टेम्पलेशन में उस स्थिति को हमें पहुंचना है. फर्स्ट इट्स ऑल इंटेलेक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, देयर आफ्टर In the pursuit of that state of being, we reach to that state. You'll never finally come to the satisfaction with intellectual understanding. Again, I'm repeating. That understanding has to get translated into experience. That's Brahma, which is said as Satyam Jnana Anantam, is my own self. And that alone gives moksha. Otherwise, intellectual तो समझ गया सत्यम ज्ञान अनंत ब्रह्मा, लेकिन वो मैं नहीं हूँ. मैं कौन? I am the jiva with upadhi, struggling same thing. of the samsara with raga, dvesha and running. अरे ब्रह्म ज्ञान हो गया तो मोक्ष नहीं हुआ तो क्या फायदा उसका? Mukti artham brahma jnanam. Is it not? And that will come only when we have Brahmanubhuti. What is Brahmanubhuti? Satyam jnanam ananta lakshana Brahma is my own self. So before that, these are the explanations. So then shunya hi lakshe anarthakam lakshana vachanam. If the object corresponding is not there, then the lakshana vakya is waste. Therefore, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, when they are using the word for, when they are used for Brahman, Brahma hai. Then Lakshanarthatvat Manyamahe na Shunyarthata iti. Then the next level is what? To indicate the Lakshan they came of the existing Brahmana. They have not come to tell about something which is not there as you are talking. He used the example. Is it not? In that example, he was making fun of the Siddhanti or Vedanti. What is that? I am talking like you talked. But what I talked has no object, I know. I am conveying to you only to mean you or tell you that you also talked about something, but that is not there. The difference between you and us is you are right in your place, I am right in my place. You have to come to my place. In your example, definitely there is no vastu. That a Vyakti, barren woman's son, taking bath, etc., you have used, but he is not there. In our case of Brahman, the Satyam Jnanavandam are not talking about thing which is not there. They are talking about the thing which alone is there. Now here, as I told you, Manyamahe. ये तो हम आपको जबरदस्ती थोप नहीं सकते. हमको अपना अनुभव है. Shankara Bhagavan says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam is a Brahma. Brahma Anubhuti is there to me and to every one of them. That's how we are living it. We cannot force it on to you. Therefore, Manyamahe. Manyamahe. Inna Shunyarthata iti. Then Visheshanarthatve api Satyadinam. So Artha Swartha Parityagaha eva. Swartha Aparityagaha eva. We have understood yesterday that though they are Visheshana, but these Lakshanas so wonderful that they have never given up the Brahma Vastu. So in this contemplation, what is happening? Satyam Jnanam Anantamarthi Shabdas, they have a meaning. That meaning is a Lakshana. That Lakshana Yukta Brahma Vastu is there. Brahman is of only these Lakshanas. These Lakshanas never leave the Brahman. They are ever with Brahman. Means what? ऐसे लक्षण वाला ब्रह्म है, ब्रह्म ऐसे लक्षण वाला है. His point is what? Such Brahman is not at all there. Shunyavada is entering. Shunyartatve hi satyadi shabdanam vishesha niyantrutva anuvapattihi. See how important this thought is. What is that? Shunyartatve hi satyadi shabdanam vishesha niyantrutva anuvapattihi. If the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Shabdas are talked about the Shunya, there is no Vastu, then why should it be implied to reject something? Vishesha Niyantrutva means what? Separating or rejecting something which is opposed to that. No, this is very subtle. थोड़ा pause करके सुनना धीरे धीरे कि if these three words don't have a corresponding object called Brahman, then why those words come or used to reject the opposite things? रहने दो, जो है तो रहने दो. Just like that, it doesn't do. Shruti Mata especially never interested in rejecting the world by these words. So Shruti Mata का उद्देश्य है to take us to the Brahman which has these meanings, these words and as Lakshana. थोड़ा वहां मिसअंडरस्टैंड मत करना, थोड़ा सूक्ष्म बनो, वहां खुद सोचो. विशेष नियंतृत्व का क्या जरूरत है उधर? विशेष नियंतृत्व मीन्स असत्य, जड़, शांत, विशेष्य वाले, जो विशेषण कहते हैं, विशेषण वाले, विशेष जो जगत कहते हैं, उसको रिजेक्ट करने के लिए ये तीन आए हैं. The three Shabdas, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, are rejecting the world, which is Anrutam, which is Jadam, which is Santam. Why will it come to do all that? Only to say that there is something which is other than these three Lakshanas. What are the three Visheshanas of the Vishesha Jagata? Anrutam, Jadam, Santam. See, Anrutam, Jadam, Santam is Jagat. Why Jagat is Anrutam? Because Vikari. What is Jadam? Because it is perceivable. Why it is Santam? Because it is ending in time. So the Anrutam, Jadam, Santam Jagat hai. उसको रिजेक्ट करने के लिए these words आए हैं. This is what you are stopping at. No. Other than these three Jagat, there is something Brahman, which is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, to indicate that these words have come. See, when I am repeatedly saying, is not our faith in the presence of the Brahma Tattva having these Lakshanas growing. This fellow doesn't want to do that. He wants to say either the Jagat is there or Jagat is not there. He is not interested in Brahman is there. Means what? Still the vasanas of Jagat are there. Still the desire for Brahma has not come. Up to rejecting the Jagat level he came. But still his inclination to discover Brahman is not yet born. Like in all of us, we are ready to study Shastra, but deeply to understand, we are not yet ready. मतलब हमारा मेच्योरिटी वहां तक आया. Some of us understand deeply, but don't want to practice it on the seat of meditation to reject the anatma. Some do reject an anatma, but आत्मा में स्थापित होने के लिए वो तैयार नहीं होते अभी. That is how it is. Slowly, when they become fit for it, then they don't worry about rejection of anatma now. They are only interested in establishing in atma. This is how the grades of the sadhakas as they evolve. Therefore, what we have to right now understand, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam शब्द जो लक्षण है, उनका corresponding ब्रह्म वस्तु है. Not like the Purva Pakshi is saying. Then Satyadi Arthaihi Arthavatvetu Tad Viparita Dharmavadbhya Visheshyabhya Brahmanaha Visheshyasya Niyantrutvam Upapadyate. Continuation of that. Only when there is a corresponding experience or the object called as Brahman is existing, whose lakshanas are Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, that these three words have a purpose of rejecting the world which has got the other opposite Visheshanas called as Asatyam, Jadam, Santam. सत्यादि शब्दों से निर्धारित लक्षित वस्तु है, उसको दर्शाने के लिए ही सत्यादि शब्दों के द्वारा उस ब्रह्म से व्यतिरिक जगत जिसके विशेषण असत्य, जड़ और शांत है, उसको रिजेक्ट किया जा रहा है. बी केयरफुल, बी अटेंटिव इन दैट. So all this is on the contemplation only. It is not the ears or the eyes they are working. The intellect is. Now, who can listen all that? Who can contemplate on that? He is not the one whose intellect is not tamoguni. He is not the one whose intellect is not rajoguni. He is not the one whose intellect is shuddha sattva-guni with its lakshanas of ekagrata and sukshmata. Therefore, should we not try to bring our intellect to shuddha, sukshma, ekagra sthiti, to contemplate on the meaning of these sentences for the clear understanding about what is real, what is unreal, then the rejection of unreal, then the pursuit of the real. See that? Having said so, then Brahma Shabda hapi swarthena arthavaneva visadesa. Are Brahma means Brahatvat. The Brahma Shabda has its own definition. A definition is there to define a thing existing. Otherwise, why do you talk any word with any explanation or meaning? Pagal hai kya? Brahma means Brahatvat. So Brahatva Brahma Vastu is very much there. Brahatva means Brahma means Brahatva. Why will the word will come when the thing is not there, which is Brahatva? So Brahma Shabdena eva, Brahma Shabda appi Swarthena Arthavan eva. Brahma Shabda by itself has a meaning to indicate the existence of Brahma Vastu. What is his problem, Purvapakshi? These three words have rejected the opposite, but there is no corresponding Brahma. Siddhanti, what is saying? These words have not come only to reject the Brahma, but they are coming here to establish Brahma only. Brahma Vastu is there, whose Lakshanas are these. And every one of us are pursuing this only. We want Satyam, we want Jnanam, we want Anantam. Heart in heart, everybody want the true infinitude consciousness only. In that Prapti only there is Anandam. सत्य ज्ञान अनंत प्राप्ति में ही आनंद है और वो वस्तु हमारे अंदर ब्रह्म के रूप में है उसको सिर्फ विद्या से अविद्या को हटाकर अनुभव करना है नेक्स्ट डिस्कशन इज व्हाट कि तत्र अनंत शब्दः अंतवत्व प्रतिषेध द्वारेण विशेषणम नाउ अगेन फाइनल कंक्लूजन ऑफ दीस थ्री वर्ड्स बाय सिद्धांति then he will give the shlokas as quotation. Then on that again the question, on that again discussion. Here he says, Ananta Shabda has come to reject the Antata of the Satya Vastu and Jnapti Vastu. And Satya hai, but then Antaman hai to, Jnapti hai, but Antaman hai to, फिर उसका फायदा नहीं होगा. Therefore, it is not only Satyam, it is not only Jnapti, but it is also eternal. ये हो गया अनंत शब्द का पर्पस वहां अनंत शब्द का अर्थ जो एंडलेसनेस है दैट इज बिकम द लक्षण ऑफ द ब्रह्मा टू डू डिस्कार्ड अंतत्व एंड व्हाट डिड सत्यम एंड ज्ञानम वर्ड्स टू डू कि सत्य ज्ञान शब्द तु ब्यूटिफुल इट इज स्वार्थ समर्पणेन एव विशेषणे भवतः दे आर सच ए विशेषणास दे आर सच ए लक्षणास दे take us to Brahma Anubhuti. In the effort of that Anubhuti, Brahma Anubhuti, they in fact themselves lose or drop. मतलब क्या हुआ? Satya and Jnana are Shabdas first. Thereafter, Satya and Jnana are the understandings second. Third, the Satya and Jnana are the Lakshanas. Fourth, Satya and Jnana are the Lakshanas of the Brahma. Now the next sentence is important. Then what? Satya and Jnana are the anubhuti of Brahma in such a way that these shabdas are not required now. Even though shabdas are not required, it's an anubhuti. That anubhuti, when it has to be told, then I am experiencing, I am Satya and I am Jnana. To explain it comes. So शब्द हो गया, शब्द का अर्थ हो गया, अर्थ लक्षण हो गया, लक्षण अनुभूति हुआ. Satyam Jnanam, the Shabdas. Satyam Jnanam have the meaning. What is the meaning? Satya means Navyabhicharatu Rutam. Jnana means Jnapti Avabodha. Then they are what? The Lakshana of the Brahma. Then what? Contemplating on these Lakshanas, suddenly we reach to an Anubhuti of Brahma. Brahma has Anubhuti of Satyam Jnanam. Be attentive. But after that Anubhuti, the understanding of Satyam and Jnanam, the Lakshanatva of the Satyam and Jnanam, the Shabda of Satyam Jnanam are not required. Therefore, by Swartha Parityaga, they have given us Brahmanubhuti. And the Ananta Shabda continued the Brahmanubhuti. Therefore, continuous, endless Satya and Jnana Swarupa is me. That is Brahma. Not discontinuous, endful, dehadi, jivadi, and the individuality and the vyavahara. Kitne lowest level we have fallen. Because of our ignorance only, because of our delusion, because of vasanas, because of our desires, because of our habits, because of our having faith in the senses, because of misguidance by equally stupid, ignorant people of the world. अब कितने वजह बताए? Correspondingly, if we discover ourselves to be Satyam Jnanam Antam Brahma, what a great joy it would be. And you are listening from 3 years, therefore, little we are able to at least apprehend the possibility of this understanding. If we have not come, we would have been taken the world only as real, running as samsari like anyone. एटलीस्ट नाउ थोड़ा हमारा अंदर का ज्ञान हिल रहा है, ज्ञान स्ट्रांग हो रहा है. मोर एंड मोर वी कॉन्टेम्पलेट दैट, जड़ से उखड़ जाएगा ज्ञान और जड़ से पकड़ लेगा ज्ञान. ज्ञानम इज इंटेलेक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, ज्ञानम इज प्रैक्टिस, ज्ञानम इज अनुभूति फाइनल. And what is Anubhuti? That Satyam Jnanam Anamritam Brahman alone is real. Everything other than it is unreal. And that Satyam Jnanantam Brahma alone is my own self. That my own self, which is Satyam Jnanantam Brahma, alone is everything. Everything other than that is only in the ignorance of the Satyam Jnanantam Brahma projected. The second level of ignorance is what? After projection, giving it reality. Then after involving in them. And then lost in that, becoming a slave to that. You know, an example may not be joyful example, but it may convey the meaning. Like the animals, human beings also were enjoying the rains and drenched in that sun and all. But slowly they thought we should not suffer it, we should make a house. They went on making houses and got slot in that they feel staying in the house alone is safety security. अब वो कॉन्सेप्ट बन गया हो. We have become slave now. It's a slavery only. Given the heat and cold and all of them are there, I cannot survive. Therefore, to protect from them, I have to stay in the house. Now, there also the Sarthi is entering. Then they want the heaters and all. ये जब concepts of reality बन गए कि नहीं? In the same way, I am Dehaha, I am Manaha. These concepts are made real by us. Like oral food habits. We think breakfast, lunch, dinner करो तो ही जिएंगे. और we think इसमें ये खाना है तो ही होएगा. These are all concepts, but they are working. None of them are real. If you change your eatable timings, not that you will die. Some problem will come till the new habit is developed. That is because of the old habit. You can change your diet. रात को 2 बजे खा सकते हैं. Do that. Somebody may come and say, 2 बजे खाना शुरू करो अभी after 100 years. See, everything is conceptual, but became habit, then we became slave. The whole world is a concept, given a reality. We are habituated to in that, we have become a slave. Therefore, that slavery has led to this level that Dehosmi alone is the way to live. We are even afraid to come out. Like the youngster says, I cannot live without that girl, or the girl says without that boy. They are afraid कि मेरा जिंदगी कैसे होगा उसके बिना. Because of that moha, that infatuation. So too we are infatuated to the world of Shabda Sparsha Prasagandha and the upadhis of Dehindriya Manobuddhyadi. Therefore we take it is impossible that we cannot be without them. Such mentality वाला वो कहाँ सुनेगा वेदांत? सुनेगा तो भी कहाँ समझ में आएगा? आएगा तो भी कैसे प्रैक्टिस करेगा? वो भी अनुभव आने तक. Think. More we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow we will see all these 3 quotations and its explanation, and this vigorous sadhana of trying to understand the Bhashya to this first mantra will do 2-3 more days so that we can at least be satisfied that we tried. And at home, if each one of you take every word, every sentence and do the drilling or churning of that and get the sense, you have blessed yourself. I will also do myself. Thank you. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shruti Namam Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Let us listen our Darshanam, Yoga Darshanam for some time.